Welcome back, my loyal subscribers. In my last video, I talked smack, basically, about the Leica TL2 and my experience with it, and the lessons learned. Today I'm here to tell you, I did not give up on Leica. So what am I talking about? I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I got the itch for the Leica cameras and the Leica lenses, and I did. I went in for the TL2, went all in, bought the accessories, bought the lenses, and was really disappointed because it just wasn't at the level that I am used to for the needs that I like to shoot for. Compare it to my Fuji, which I'm recording on, freaking amazing camera for the money. The more I saw the hindrances in the Leica system, the more I was looking at Fuji and the Sonys I have, and I was saying, it's just a high bar for Leica right now and for a long time, and they just weren't there or aren't there with that particular camera. I can't speak for the others because I haven't experienced them. For the money, Fuji, Canon, Nikon, Sony, all of these cameras, they're offering a lot more right now than we've ever had in a long time. The technology's just improved so much. The lenses that we have out there, the autofocus, they're just all amazing. It's just crazy. But I had the freaking Leica itch, and I still could not just quit on them like that. So I had to try something else from their lineup. Again, the more accessible side, because as we all know, any of their full frame cameras, even used, are gonna be at $2,500 to $3,000 and over. And that's not including getting the lens that is going to be around the same price or more. So what do I have in my hands today? I have the both very judged and also very loved D-Lux 7. Let's talk about it. So why did I get this one instead of its clone, basically clone, or twin, the LUMIX, what is it even called? LX100, I couldn't even remember. LX100 series. There's a couple of reasons. The first one is, although yes, this version of Leica is more expensive, brand new, you can find it for used in great condition for the same price as a new LUMIX LX100. And yes, the caveat is it is used, but you get the Leica badge, you get the Leica setup, their profile, basically, their menu. I mean, it's the same menu, but you know what I mean, like their setup in general, their button layout. You're getting the Leica signature look used for what you could pay for it new if it was the LUMIX, which is fine with me because my thing is to experience what this company has to offer in their version, even though it's the same sensor, the same lens and whatnot. I think several people have compared this one to the LUMIX LX100 already. If you look at those reviews, you will find that yes, they are basically the same. You're getting the same output. The biggest difference are probably going to be the color science and, like I said, button layout and the look. And part of the look is the shooting experience, which is a big deal for me. I have a cat hair stuck on one of these freaking buttons. That is going to bother me for a long time. Anyway, why did I get this camera? The same reason that I got the TL2. I wanted something not professional or not feeling like it's professional, which means the added weight, the added lenses and all those options that we have just make it all bulky. And sometimes you just want to shoot, or you just want to be very casual for travel, or if you're with family. You don't always want to point a giant freaking 4 to 5 inch lens with the camera that's already pretty big. This just is more approachable, slim, and and compact. I mean, look at how big it is. It fits in my palm. It has a touch screen. It's a point and shoot. It does what a point and shoot is supposed to do, with the benefit of having a larger sensor. And that was the selling point to me, and why I didn't mind buying this version used versus buying a brand new LUMIX version of it. If you're familiar with the Sony point and shoots, like the LX100 series, I've had two of those, the newest one and one of the older ones. Great cameras, they cost the same as this. And my comparison here is more of, why would I not pay that same amount for this one if this one has a larger sensor? And that is really the reason for me, for you to try this one, is because a lot of the point and shoots that are compact in this size are small sensors. So we're talking 1 inch and below. Most of them are. These are the only cameras with micro four thirds sensors that are this size. If you take a step up and go to APS-C, you can't get this size. That is the compromise. So think about that. If, for example, there are some Canon point and shoots, you know, that are similar in size, but they're not this small, this compact with the Leica name from the optical side of things. That's the reason I got this one to try out. And I can tell you my first impressions, I've taken several pictures with it over the last month now, and I like it a lot. I mean, when I had the RX100, I took it on a trip to Europe and used it for everything. And I did enjoy it, but I didn't find the images having any pop or that quality that I'm looking for, because I'm so used to the larger sensor cameras. And even though it's easy to just pick like a Sony a6000 series and put a prime lens, you're always going to be limited by the physics of the sensor sizes correlation to the body of the camera. That correlation being, the larger the sensor, the larger the lens has to be. So this is a sweet spot in terms of capability, sensor size, and size of the lens that you get for the money. This is basically a 24 to 75, 3.5 to 5.6 full frame equivalent. And for many of you out there who are familiar with kit lenses, when you buy a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, that's the basic lens you get, but you don't get it in this package. So I really was attracted to that aspect of the camera setup, aside from the cool factor of it being a Leica and having the Leica look, and it feels great in the hands. I really thought I was gonna need the grip, but I actually just went for a leather grip. I haven't gotten it yet. The touch screen is great. And so far the images I'm getting are great. I'm really enjoying the quality that I'm getting, because I'm constantly comparing it to what I was getting out of an RX100. And yeah, you can go up to like 200 millimeters on some of those models, but I'd rather go up to 75 and get a really, really good image with a bigger sensor. Not really caring about the megapixels. This one has 17, more than enough. Lots of us are shooting with A7Ss, which are 12, not a problem. Now, this camera just has a lot of cool features, so I'll just quickly go through it. It's not gonna be specs. I just like the tactile functions. I think that's one of the bonuses for me. So you got the exposure compensation dial, you got the shutter speed dial, you've got the aperture control on the lens, and then you've got the aspect ratios right on the top. I love the clickiness. I can go from 4/3 to 3, 2, 16:9, 1:1, you know, whatever you're trying to get. I just keep it at the basic. I can crop later. On the side, you've got the macro feature, very clicky as well. The macro feature has been very nice to use. I've already taken several detail shots of my cats where I get really close to them, and it's come in handy at both 24 and 75. So far really good. So yeah, very tactile controls. I really like that. It makes me feel like I'm using like my Fuji cameras, or, you know, a more classic Leica camera with all the hand controls here. It's very nice to use and hold in the hands. What don't I like? So far, it's the menu system. Yes, this thing it's feature packed, but you really have to dig through to find a lot of the features. And it may just be because I'm new to this menu system. Here and there, I'm starting to get some shortcuts to get to certain settings, like the color, look, style that I want, whether I'm shooting black and white or not. Other settings, you gotta dig for them, but once you set them, they're set, and you probably don't need to mess with them again, which is a plus. But yeah, overall, the menu's pretty dense, so you do need to take time. You do need to take time to learn the camera menu. Once you put everything where you need it to be, you're set. So ever since I did that, I haven't really gone into the menu a lot. It's mostly to switch my color style. And I mean, everything else is tactile. Everything else that matters to take a shot, shutter speed, ISO, all of that good stuff. ISO, I used the quick dial here. The images are great. I'm going to show you a bunch of examples just to show you. I was already familiar with the Photos Leica app, so that was a no-brainer. Really easy to connect, really easy to transfer JPEGs. I wish I could transfer the raw files just like I was able to with the TL2, but that's just not a feature here. But I can always transfer them to the computer and edit them from there, which I haven't done. I've only done straight out of camera so far. And that's something I do want to focus on for this first impressions. When you have this camera or the LX100 too, I'm going to use that as the title for this video because it applies to both. There's quick settings, kind of like the Q button on a lot of cameras, where you can just quickly set the colors and all that stuff. But if you go into the menu, like I said earlier, and you dig into it, you actually find out that you can modify every single color style, kind of how you edit the Fuji camera color styles, those recipes. So you can edit the shadows, the highlights, the tones, how much color strength, sharpness, contrast. You end up with like 5 to 6 different categories to modify for each color. So I was actually, once I found that, I was able to adjust it until I found the colors I liked straight out of camera. And so far I haven't had the urge to edit anything. That also wasn't the purpose for this camera for me. I just wanted to shoot, transfer, easy. So I did that with a neutral profile to get the colors I want, and then I did that with the black and white high contrast profile that I really like. Similar or better than the TL2 black and whites that I was getting that I really did enjoy. Just love those dark, rich, those dark, rich, contrasty areas in an image. The blacks, very deep. The whites, very balanced. Once you find a style you want, I mean, I was surprised that I was able to personalize the style, the color profiles straight out of camera. Really easy, live as I'm looking through the viewfinder. Just a couple more pros so far in my first impressions. I like the viewfinder. I think it's decent. I mean, you can't ask for more. Look how small it is. It works. Touchscreen is great. I think my favorite part about the touchscreen is that when I have it up against my eye, I can actually modify the focus point as I'm looking through just by touching the screen, and then I can focus. So yeah, overall, very good first impressions. Like I said, I'll show you the samples. It's not good for video. I mean, it crops so much. It's kind of, just use your phone to use for video. Other than that, it's a great little camera. I really like it. If you have the budget for it, I know it's not like a need, it's an extra camera for sure. But like I said, you don't always want to carry your big mirrorless camera with your best lenses. Sometimes you just want something discreet, easy to just bring with you anywhere. I got the special hood on it. That's another cool factor. Check this out. I got the little automatic opening door, so I don't really need to take the lens hood off or anymore. It's integrated. It's just fun, to be honest, and I really like it. So far, no issues with autofocusing. Got some great macro shots. Check them out. Let me know what you think. I'll be back with a longer term review. I need to have my wife use it as well, and also maybe my brother, just to see if they can adjust to it pretty quick or not. I do wish it had a flip screen so that I could do selfies, but it is wide enough to do this and aim it at yourself and take a shot. But yeah, I do wish I could see myself. Other than that, it's a great little camera. You can just take it anywhere. Fits in your pocket. All right, enjoy the samples. Stick around. Thank you.